What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video we're going to be talking about another new card spoiled for release in the OCG Japan lands, and this is honestly one that I think collectors specifically are really going to enjoy the release of, because honestly, since this card originally premiered in the show about, like 15 years ago at this point, it's been well over a decade, the card has never really been released to us or like spoiled to us or even like made any sort of like knowledge that it might be released to us in all of that time, even though there were multiple points along the way that they could have released this card and it would have been potentially fine. But the card in question is something that I don't think is going to actually have any sort of competitive bearing on the game, because you are still revolving around Destiny board, but still, it is very cool, and it's actually very neat to me how they translated this card's effect from the anime effect over into an actual physical printed card, because the card in the anime itself kind of doesn't really work well with game mechanics, so they had to find a way to make the card do what the card did in the anime, but still have the same sort of functionality and the same feeling that the card in the anime did. And I think they've done a very, very good job at that. But anyway, the card is one of the cards used by the main antagonist in the main Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters series, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series that was honestly the first one. If we're not counting Season 0, it's the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And it was one of the cards used by the series' main antagonist, Bakura. And honestly, it's probably one of the more iconic cards, if not one of the most iconic cards that Bakura ever used. Now, every time Bakura made his appearance in the show and had a run-in or incident with the main cast, all the way through the beginning to the end when he was being used as a side antagonist and then eventually evolved into the main antagonist, there were always these little run-ins that he would have with the main cast, and there was always a certain card or strategy or something that would be the pivotal point of a duel, of an episode, or something that was always very, very iconic, that if you ever watch the show years later, you still remember this sort of thing just because of nostalgia feelings and all that sort of nonsense. And Dark Sanctuary is definitely one of those cards in the Battle City arc that was definitely, like I said, one of the most, if not the most iconic card that he could have played during that time frame of the show that people always remember. And it's a card that was never released to us because, like I said, the anime effect kind of broke game mechanics, so they had to figure out a way to translate it over to an actual effect that would be decent but not insane. The card literally broke game mechanics, so that's what they had to figure out, but I'm kind of pleased with how they did it. But anyway, Dark Sanctuary, field spell card. First effect, if you bring out a spirit message due to the effect of Destiny board, you can special summon that card as a normal monster, Fiend type, Dark, level 1, attack 0, defense 0. The card special summoned by this effect is unaffected by the effects of cards other than Destiny board, and it cannot be targeted for an attack. If you only control monsters who have this card's effect applied to them, and no other monsters, then your opponent can attack you directly. Then its second effect is, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you flip one coin. If it's heads, negate that attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of that opponent's monster's attack. So, it keeps the same feel of the card from the show, but actually it works in a way that actually is supportable by the game's current game mechanics, because like I said, one in the anime literally broke game mechanics. It's I'm gonna move this spirit from one monster to another, but I ain't gonna tell you which one's infected by it. And so if that were to translate over to an actual physical card, it'd be I have picked this one, but I'm not telling you, and there's no way to record it and no way to track it, so I can just say that the one you attacked with, that's the one I picked. Gotcha. But no, there's actually a way to apply that now. You have to flip a coin, and it basically decides whether the attack gets negated or not, and whether your opponent burns or not. Now, the only issue I have is that the card in the anime added the damage your opponent took to the controller's life, and this doesn't do that. But I mean, that's a missed part of the effect, and honestly, it's probably fine without it. But the only issue I have with this otherwise is that it is very cool because it allows you to special summon the spirit messages as monsters, thus freeing up your spell and trap card zone. That I do like. That's actually something that that the Dark Sanctuary did in the show as well, and that's very neat how they got it to be implemented. But honestly, the fact that it doesn't protect Destiny board is the big fatal flaw, and the fact that it doesn't even protect the spirit messages from Destiny board's nuking effect is also another very, very big flaw. Now, honestly, if that didn't protect it, like, it would, like, you have outs, is what I'm trying to say. You have outs to this because it's Destiny board. Your amazing stall 5 turns for a win condition deck is only going to stall 5 turns so many times before you actually just get killed by the decks in the format that literally operate on a turn 1, turn 2 basis. That's like the biggest thing. And even if this card was able to protect Destiny board itself, and protect all of them, and make it literally like you have to deal with Dark Sanctuary and then you have to deal with Destiny board, like, that would still be really fair considering what the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Does at this current point in time. Because, I mean, we have Ultimate Falcon, we've had Towers, we have Great Magnus, we have cards that are 100% unaffected by other card effects. And, like, these are cards that have attack points. These are cards that put you on a clock. This clock is 5 turns. I think this clock could have been completely fine to have been a Towers. Honestly. Because you still have to deal with Dark Sanctuary, and then it still has a big target on its head. Even if you gave it everything immunity, Dark Sanctuary just has to be removed from the board, and then Destiny board is still just a target. But even with this card, you can still just deal with Destiny board. And Destiny board still nukes all the spirit messages when it, like, dies. So, like, I don't think this could do anything for the game. I think this is strictly good for collectors because, honestly, I really enjoy this card's effect. It's very neat. I'm saying it's very neat. It's not very good, but it is very neat. The fact that this card finally has been translated over into an actual physical card is very cool. While they did miss some things, like the life point gain, I mean, it doesn't matter. The main purpose of this card is to be able to resolve Destiny board. So your life doesn't necessarily matter as long as you can continually keep your opponent from doing shit to you. Keep him from touching you. But I don't know. The fact that you can still affect Destiny board and the spirit messages that have this effect applied to them that are unaffected by other cards can still be destroyed by Destiny board because they're unaffected by all other card effects except Destiny board is probably the biggest, like, flaw in this card. And I think it would have been completely fair to have had full immunity to all the spirit messages and the Destiny board. I think it would have been perfectly fair to have full immunity because you still can you can still out Dark Sanctuary. If they add Field Barrier to it, like, you can out the Field Barrier and then you can out the Dark Sanctuary. Like, there is a chain of command that makes it easy to out, but there's just no protection. And that's probably my biggest, like, qualm with the card. But I do like the fact that it is being released, and I do like its effect. I do like how, like I said for the multiple time, how they translated a card that literally broke game mechanics in the show over into a physical card that is able to manipulate game mechanics properly. That's neat. But, like I said, I don't think this card is going to be playable in any stretch of the imagination because your strategy is still revolving around a 5-turn clock. Maybe back in, like, 2011, 2012, that would have been fine, because, I mean, we had decks like Final Countdown that were doing well at that time, and shit, man, that is a 20-turn clock. But decks like that were doing well back then, because the game was fundamentally different. But as it stands right now, I don't think this card will possibly do anything for the game, other than just be a collector's piece. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Whether you think I'm justified in, like, saying the immunity effect should be applied to the Destiny board and all of it, because you can still out Sanctuary, or if just not. If you just think I'm wrong and you think I'm just being belligerent for no reason. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this card in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think in general, because I honestly like having sort of a group conversation type thing. This is much less of me just stating my opinion and just leaving it at that. It's more of like, I want to see what you guys have. I want to talk. Let's talk. If your ideas are decent and like you have something good to say, I want to read it. I want to know about it. I'm sure other people do too. That's why the comment system exists, and that's why I think it's great. That's why I don't just, like, not care about comments on my videos. I encourage commenting, because I like to read this shit that you guys say from time to time. But anyway, as always, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Link, as usual, is in the description to the English proxy that I use in this video. You're responsible for sizing it and all that, but it's high-res. As high-res as I can upload to the internet in, at least. If you want to print out your own proxies, download it. Link in the description. Size it. Do whatever you want to it. Print it. Golden. You're ready to go. Other than that, if you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos and disabling ad block and view my videos is more than sufficient. It's the best way to support me. It's the best way to keep me motivated to keep making these videos. So if you definitely enjoy watching these videos, then the best way to keep that from like not being a thing anymore is to just click some ads. It helps me out a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. All that sort of nonsense that you guys should already know by this point. But anyway, that's it for this video. I've tried to film it like 10 times. Keep messing up. Had to start over. I'm glad I got through this one. And at this point, I just don't even care about being professional anymore. As always, guys, take care.